Hi everyone, how y'all doing? I'm Pabs, a rice themed VTuber and an artist, and today we're going to be doing some art studies. Now, I scheduled this about a week ago. I asked a couple of friends of mine who also did art, what do you do when you kind of feel like you want to go in a different direction for a little bit? And I heard that doing drawings, studies of food, is what kind of helped them out from time to time. It's something fun that you can do. So I wanted to try it out for myself, see what happens, see what all the fuss is about. So that's what we'll be doing today. So let's just head on over to the working screen. I'll tuck myself away into my little corner here. Boom. Little man in the corner. Everything is as it should be. Let's crack open CSP. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I got a few dozen... Well, no, dozen is a bit much. I got like 4 images out of Unsplash. If you've never heard of Unsplash before... Very useful little website. It has a lot of royalty-free images that you can use free of charge. You don't even need to credit the photographer, but I did try to keep the photographer's names in the file names as best as I could. So I'll keep thanking them as I keep going along. I'm not one of those people who photograph their food. I highly respect those that do because, like, yeah, boom, yeah. I'm not gonna lie. I've always had trouble. Like, so here's a fun thing about my parents. My mom is a huge photographer lady. Not famous, but like she loves photography. She adores taking pictures of things. She has a lot of fun with it. And whenever we get like something nice at a restaurant or we go to a nice restaurant and get something, she always tries to take a picture of it. Not obsessively, but sometimes. And every single time that has happened, she has had to remind me, hey, Pabs, could you, like... Okay, so I know you want to go in on the food, like, immediately, but could you, like, let me take a picture first? Like, she has to actively remind me to not just, like, dig in. But yeah, this picture here was taken by Victoria Shez. So, thank you. I will be, hopefully, trying to do it justice. So, yeah, I love... meat platters like this. I know I am a rice themed VTuber, but I am like 100% embracing what carnivorous nature I have. Okay, so how do we do this actually? Okay, so I think the best way to do this might not actually be to draw over it, but to just have it open up in a different window off to the side. And then that way... Let me see if I can get this open. Here we go. But yeah, I think having it open in a separate window is going to do me much more good than if I were just like... How do I put this? Like, I feel like it's better for me in terms of like doing the study if I just have it open in a separate window and don't actually have it right here in front of me. I also don't know why I popped open a vector layer. I don't think we'll actually be using vector layers at all. This is going to be very kind of unorthodox. Yeah, I think the way we're going to handle this, right, is that first I'm going to turn on my background music because I definitely remember to do that every time I step off a gaming stream. 100%, 1000%. Then second, I think what we're going to do first is actually kind of draw on top of this, but only to kind of like get the main shapes kind of out the way. So I see here that we have some wax paper down here. Love wax paper. Wait, no, actually I like parchment paper. Parchment paper is your friend. Wax paper is the traitor of 10,000 stars. Alright, wax paper is one of those things that you absolutely cannot trust. Why is that, you ask? Well, wax paper, I'm 100% sure, has like its own uses, right? But the thing is, my most kind of prominent experience with wax paper is buying it instead of parchment paper and just being like surprised Pikachu face when it inevitably catches fire in the oven. Yeah, that's wax paper's thing. Parchment paper is like heat-proofed? Heat-proofed might be a strong word. It is heat-resistant. It's meant to be used in high-heat situations. Conversely, wax paper, I'm not sure what its deal is. I think it might be just for presentation. I really am actually quite curious, like what exactly parchment, like wax paper, is used for in a culinary context. It can't be just for presentation, right? Because then you just use parchment paper. See, I'm getting them mixed up as I talk. that should go to show at least like the extent of wax paper parchment, wax paper stretchery. Boom, got it. Okay. Then other than that, over here we'll do like the drawing a maid dress on my streamer friend. A time-honored tradition, honestly. Yeah. Yeah, if you have any friends who are streamers, I think like at some point you have to kind of consider putting that buddy of yours in a maid dress. I think that's normal behavior. It's already happened to me. Yeah, I remember during my rite of passage. Hey Vex. Yeah, no. Also, hi Jay, if you're still there. Yeah, no, 100% rite of passage has to be done. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, fully agree. Male friend. Also, this is not a gender thing. This is a this is a homie thing. All right. This is like sacred. This is like sacred shit. This is like. It's like in movies when you have two dudes who are drinking, right? And one dude, and like before they take a sip, they like, hang on, this might take a second to draw out. They like they kind of like hook their arms around each other, like this. This might take a second. Hang on. It's kind of a complex maneuver. If it's male, it should be a butler thing, right? No, absolutely not. I mean, the thing is, right? Maid and butler. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, listen. You need to listen to me. Maid and butler don't exist within the gender binary. They are, if anything else, I believe, and I am 100% in believing this. They are kind of their own gender, right? Like you could like. The moment you put on a maid dress or a butler uniform, you like that's no longer like related to gender. You are now like it's deeper than that. It goes beyond that. I don't know why I made this guy like why this one dude is just really just the worst at drinking liquids. But yeah, like drawing your buddy or your streamer friend in a maid dress is the equivalent of doing this. Yeah, my man is just absolutely sipping. He is thirsty. Yeah, I remember my brother taught me how to do that when we were young. It was fun. He's a cool guy. All right. I was doing something, right? The thing that I came here to do. God, I love going off of massive tangents like this. Not because it distracts me from the drawing, but like because it is just that much fun to talk about stuff like this sometimes. You gotta get a little sophistic with it from time to time. It's how you survive in this world. Perhaps got maid dress rice to show us? I do, actually. I have it from my debut stream. I don't think I have a picture of it handy right now. I might be able to find it, though. If y'all will give me a second. I remember explicitly that one of my friends drew one for me. If I scroll up far enough in the Discord conversation, it should still be there. I have no doubt about this. Oh yeah, there it is. Didn't even have to scroll that far. Boom. Yeah, courtesy of yeah, hang on. I forgot his Twitch name real quick. Let me find that. Let me look that up. Yeah, here we go. That's not the shout-out command. Do that again. Come on now. Thank you, Stream Elements. That will be all. Yeah, no. But yeah, I need you to understand. I keep this on my wall like a trophy. What was I doing? Right, the table and the food. Oh my goodness. But yeah, shout out to Toast for that one. God. But yeah, like I said, like the maid dress thing is, don't even worry about the gender stuff around that. That's second priority. All right, your first priority is putting your buddy in a maid dress always. Do you understand me? Look me in the eyes. Oh, I forgot that this takes the screen color. Right. So it's like this, more like. Yes, sir. All right. Then we got the most charred looking eggplant on the planet. This thing, I'm not gonna lie, all of this looks good, but the eggplant straight up makes me a little uncomfortable. It looks alive, for lack of a better word. Who hurt him? Yeah. He was forced to go on the grill when he was 6 years old. Okay. Here we go. So yeah, again, just trying to get like a general kind of shape for these guys. Not really just about for the positioning of everything. I'll work on the colors and stuff in a minute. Because the thing is, right, I considered like doing this like a photorealistic thing, like that one time I did that one of like that cat picture that was going viral on Twitter that had really weirdly good lighting. I think that was like close to the beginning of New Year's, actually, if I remember correctly. Anyway, I considered doing it in that way, but at the same time, I feel like the kind of real thrill of this comes from kind of like having your own interpretation of the colors and everything. So I'm just kind of trying to block out the shapes a little bit, and then I'll kind of, try to dazzle them up a little bit. Try to like translate it to how I would depict it. Yeah, it's kind of like that moment of realization that I had when I did the figure studies, way back. Yeah, we're getting into it. We're getting down and dirty with this meat. I feel like I should bail from this ship before I say something regrettable. I feel like do you ever like say something out loud? It's not bad, but like you know immediately that if you take that if you like follow that train. Hey, Leo. Yeah, no, like listen. I've expressed this before that when I stream, I do try to say thoughtful things from time to time. Naturally, I think that everybody does. It is not 100. Like I am not 100% turning off my brain. The thing is, my brain is often occupied with some kind of activity or perhaps task, and when that happens, I cannot guarantee what comes out of my mouth for most of the time. Like this, like I am gesturing towards my head. This thing for about 3 hours on 3 days of the week turns into like a black box of nonsense sentences that I am not fully in control of. That's just how it is. That's just how it is when you're a streamer, I think. Oh yeah, these are so shaped. Yeah, the art takes over. Yeah, it's exactly like being a werewolf, except instead of like, you know, being cool and transforming into like an 8-foot tall beast, you just get wrist pain. In that regard, it's not like being a werewolf at all, but still. I think there can be some comparisons drawn. I definitely think you've got an argument there that being an artist is somewhat like being a werewolf. What meat is this, by the way? This looks weirdly put together. Like the meat has just kind of melted into itself. I don't know. I'm not sure. I don't have too much long. Just long meat. All right, meat that's long. Okay, sure. We'll go with that. Yeah, man. I used to go to this one restaurant with my family. Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you just got to do it on the vendor slinging piping hot skewers of long meat. God, why did I fucking say that? Okay, back to my story because I don't. Again, when you say something like this, you got two options. You either ride that fucker into the sunset like some kind of trusty horse, or you bail immediately, which is what I do. It is the coward's way, but at least I live at peace with myself. But yeah, back to the story that I was about to tell. When I was younger, that second AEO, you're on a roll today. I'm racking them up. This morning I went for a little walk at the park, and this old man had like one of those like little exclamation points above his head, so I went to talk to him, and then he made me accept a quest to get 10 AOs before the sun set today. I don't think I'm gonna get it, so I'm probably gonna miss out on some nice loot for the day, but it seemed like it'd be like a daily thing, so I bet I can get it tomorrow. No hurry, really. Fun fact, I've never actually played any kind of, like, for a meaningful amount of time. Rip sus quest line. Yeah, that's how you unlock the horny VTuber subclass. I'm not about that life though, so I was fully okay like missing out. Yeah, I've never actually played MMORPGs for any meaningful length of time. Like, when I was a kid, I used to download all kinds of them. Oh, that little hourglass symbol worried me for a second. I used to download all kinds of MMORPGs whenever I got the chance because, honestly, they were like free video game to me, and I didn't know, and I didn't like, and you know, you're a kid, right? You just need like, we'll never get sexy paps. Yeah, never, never in a million years. Food study. I should name this. Yeah, when I was a kid, I think I've said this. I've told this story before. When I was a kid, I used to basically just download. I used to go on like this website. Was it called like MMORPG Hut or something? I was right. Oh my god. What were you right about? Anyway, when I was a real young guy, younger than I am now, even if you can believe that. When I was a really young kid, I used to basically while away my days by looking on this website called, I think it was called MMO Hut. And basically, I just like look at the more popular MMORPGs of the time, and I'd be like, okay, sure, I'll try out this one. And I'd pick it up for like a week or two, like maybe 3 weeks, if I was really invested in it, and then I would never touch it again. And that's kind of just how I spend my time. That's just basically what I did after school and whatever. Pro baby gamer paps. Oh, I was... That's a generous kind of assumption you're making there. Did you have any favorites? For a while, I think like the two that I remember the most no, I had like 4 that I remember really distinctly. One of them was called, Lawtale. I played for a little while. I don't know how many people have played Lawtale. I know it's definitely, yeah, I don't know how popular Lawtale is or was. I remember it being decently popular. I remember like there were quite a few players on whenever I was like on there, but yeah, that one I played I think the longest time. There was another one called Ghost X. It's now defunct. I have checked. It had a very interesting style. It was a cool little game. Cringe baby gamer paths. Yeah, no. Yeah, Lawtale was kind of interesting. Yeah, Ghost X was really badass. Yeah, basically the kind of core concept behind it was, I don't know how to describe its art style. It felt very kind of graffiti inspired. Definitely graffiti inspired, I think. Very chuny as well. It had that kind of vibe to it. But it was a very interesting game because like basically you had like these little basically the kind of gimmick of the game, right, was that you had like these little ghost buddies that followed you around and they turned into weapons and you would fight ghosts with those weapons. It was a very interesting looking game. I remember really liking a lot of the designs for the weapons that the little guys turned into. I loved like the creature aspect of it all. Yeah, some of the clothes in that game were really stylish too. That's one that I really remember. Like I said, it's now defunct and it doesn't have any chance of coming back, I don't think. Surprisingly enough, one of the ones that I did play for a while as well was one called Free Jack, which is one that's basically like it's a racing MMO, but it's basically centered around free running. So, you know, parkour, running around and jumping on buildings and such. It was kind of like themed around that. And it was very fun. I remember having a lot of fun with that one. And something that I learned only last year, I think, is that apparently they're trying to revive the game. If you go on Twitter, I think there is a group, a Twitter account, who is basically a team of people trying to revive that game. And I have been meaning to check it out on stream, and I probably will do that at some point. Maybe I'll wait until it gets a little bit more, what do you call it? Finished? No nice way to say this. I think it's definitely still in beta right now, but you know, I've been following that development. I've been invested in it. You know, like it's something that I remember from my childhood, so I'd love to like give them my support if I can. The other one that I really remember is I actually really used to be into like racing games. I remember the other two that I really remember. One of these is more normal than the other. I think I'll start with the one that's less normal. The one that I remember distinctly, mainly because it was just so goddamn weird, was this one racing MMO that basically... Alright, there's no real, like, kind of gentle way to say this, so I'm gonna rip the band-aid off. You are basically racing as a bunch of babies. You know how, like, in Mario Kart, people were like, huh, you can play as Baby Mario and Baby Peach. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine if there was an entire game where all the drivers were just babies? That's what this MMO was. You were on, I don't think it was go-karts, I think it was like powered baby strollers or some shit. And you were basically just racing against other babies. I shit you not, this was a real game that I played multiple times. I stopped playing, I think, because it was like too hard. But this was an actual game that you could find online at some point in human history. God, I still feel lightheaded remembering it. I feel like I feel like I'm making like constitution checks every time I remember anything significant about it. It was not because it was particularly bad, but again because it's just kind of weird. These suckers in F1 have never raced against a baby before. Jesus Christ. I mean, the thing is, right? You kind of have to have a strong gimmick to kind of make it as an MMO. It's not enough that you're just like generic fantasy MMO number 500 million point. Yeah, right? Like, you can't just be like a generic fantasy thing. You need to be like, oh yeah, in this generic fantasy thing, you can like, you can carve wood by hand. And like, that's like a core gameplay mechanic or some shit, but like, in the end, it really is just kind of all the same, and I think that's something that I realized as I kind of got deeper into the pit. All right, I think we're missing some mushrooms up here. No, okay. Yeah, I think we've got a solid basis to work off of. These squiggly lines shall become the canvas for our ambitions. I should drink some water. God. I talk sometimes about this this business newsletter that I follow, again, to kind of just kind of keep up with modern events. Okay. It's kind of a good source because, and I've explained this sentiment before, that it's not only good because it keeps me kind of like, you know, appraised of what's going on in the business world, because, you know, everything is eventually subsumed by capital, whatever. I'll leave that kind of fear later, but also because it's kind of a good litmus test for like annoying trends in the market. Because right when like NFTs and crypto shit started getting popular, when that's kind of started blowing up back in, God, was that really only just last year? I feel like I've been hating on crypto and all that garbage for like ages. Anyway, these guys were like, were like jumping on that, like, oh yeah, the metaverse, the NFTs, the cryptos. Ooh, check out this monkey JPEG that you can totally own for real life fucking money instead of just clicking it off this random schmuck's Twitter profile. You know, it's like whatever, man, right? But occasionally, right, they will have like these insights that kind of indicate like, oh hey, this annoying thing is probably on its last legs. Because today, and I will say like, crypto scams have been getting funnier and funnier, right? Because first of all, anybody who invests in crypto has obviously kind of already got the bag, right? So you don't really feel bad for anybody who got like hit by a rug pull. Okay, hang on. So it's almost kind of like a catharsis in a way. But today they ran not today. They don't actually publish on Saturdays. But today they on Friday they ran an article. People are just out there selling. And I need you all to like laugh at this with me, because essentially the article basically said like, hey, there's people who are selling, who claim to be crypto dudes, who are just selling JPEGs of celebrities, but like there's no actual NFT. They're just like selling. They're out here slinging Tom Brady branded JPEGs for money. Yeah, they specifically name dropped Tom Brady, that American football player, as one of the more common ones for some reason. I don't know. Maybe the guy just kind of attracts scams. I know that he's recently retired from football, I think, and now he's like running some kind of like athleisure clothes line. I think that's something that happened. Yeah, the one who's always on TV. I think that might be the one. Like I said, I don't think I've mentioned this. I don't really keep up with sports. The most kind of up-to-date sports knowledge that I have is that Ecuador made it into the what do you call, the World Cup, and that's not really going to be effective until November. Yeah, it turns out when you host the World Cup in a country like Qatar, it's a little too toasty for some of the players to play regularly, so they push it back quite a bit. But yeah, for some reason they specifically like name drop like Tom Brady on this thing. Okay. I gotta say, I'm not sure how this bell pepper is looking, but it's kind of fun to just block out colors like this. I'm enjoying this. I need to be more careful with where no, careful isn't the right word. Judicious, I think, might be the right word. Judicious is such a pretentious word, though. Like, I feel like, yeah, I like this pepper. I like the way it looks, and now it's time to really kick it up a notch by adding the light components to it. Okay, so I want a smaller brush for this one. Not to mention, past a certain point, right? I'm kind of working a little bit off of the image, but like past a certain point, you also kind of have to. How do I put this? Like, you also have to figure out if that's what you want. Judicious, damn. Yeah, look at this fancy bastard using three little syllable words like they're free. Yeah. That is something that I've noticed, that occasionally I do talk like a douchebag. Like, it's not a bad thing to use like long words, I think. Like, obviously, like not sometimes like people won't recognize them, but that's more of a you problem than like a, you know, like that'll be a problem. But like, you can explain it, and so long as you're not an asshole, they'll generally be like, okay, cool, yeah, that's what you meant. But the thing is, right, I grew up in an environment where like using fancy words was kind of encouraged, because English is not my first language. I learned English when I was like 7. and they basically were like, "Wow, you're using such fancy words. Good job!" And I immediately went like, "I'm gonna get a good grade in English, something that is both normal to want and possible to achieve." Wait, no, it literally was normal to want and possible to achieve. So that made it even harder to not do it. I ended up becoming like a walking dictionary. Okay. Somehow this doesn't feel like it's working. This doesn't not feel right. Yeah, I think first of all I gotta up the the darkening on this here. Not the charring. That's the word. Reustin time. Yeah, gotta do a little bit of a redo here. I was thinking about something. I forgot now what I was thinking about. But yeah, NFT. I will say that crypto scams have just been getting funnier and funnier over the years, over the time, because like it's not only like people who are deep into this doing it. Like you would see that like I think there was a post going around on Tumblr of like this dude who basically made an entire cryptocurrency and then immediately drained the lake, so to speak. And basically went like, hey dipshits, thanks for letting me do this to you because it's literally legal. And he just kind of got away with it. Really, like, again, kind of concerning if this was anybody other than like crypto freaks, but because it is kind of crypto freaks, you don't feel so bad for these people. I don't know. It's a little mean, but like, I don't know. It is kind of complicated because I just generally don't like to make light of people's misfortunes. But in this case, like, when you really embrace free market capitalism like that, you're gonna need to be prepared for the consequences, you know? Yeah. To quote an old adage, if you mess with the bull market, you get the horns. Oh yeah, another interesting thing that I learned about today was that there is such a thing as a water sommelier. Yeah, it turns out that like you can go like, I think there is a bar like in Texas or something that basically has a bunch of dudes who are like really in the know about water, and they can actually suggest to you like, hey, yeah, if you want a water sommelier. So yeah, kind of like a wine sommelier, a guy who like really knows wine and recommends stuff to you based on like what you're eating or what you're cooking. A water sommelier would basically like ask like, okay, what do you want to use this water for? Okay, do you want to make coffee with it? If you want to make coffee with it, then I recommend like this pH density, this thing. Oh wait, you're using that coffee? Well, in that case, that changes everything. We're gonna need to like start over. It's kind of like that, I imagine. Yeah, no, really smart guys. I remember seeing a TikTok on Tumblr kind of getting passed around, which had a guy like that. He wasn't really a sommelier so much as he was like a dude who was really enthusiastic about bottled water. I honestly really admire people who can like get that deep into a hobby. Also, I think I figured out how to do the lighting thing now. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this darkened color here, and I'm actually going to go one step darker even. No. It would have to be like further up on the color wheel like this. And then just try this out first. But yeah, apparently that is a real thing. You can hire these people, and they will like... I mean, it has to be like a really niche service, right? Like it has to be like a novelty thing more than anything. Yeah, I think this kind of shade will mostly work on these kind of like charred black parts. For parts like this, I'm gonna need to come up with something else, though. Kind of like this, maybe. Yeah, just like that. Probably has a membership club. Yeah, I mean they would have to like. I feel like that is kind of like a thing where you would have to kind of get everybody together. there are some things that you can't get paid for unless you kind of unionize. Like, I mean, I feel like, yeah, because I feel like water sommelier is such a hyper specific thing that unless you have like a guild for it or something, you're just gonna kind of get messed up on your pricings. How do you even like price something like that, right? Because I don't imagine it being used for like kind of regular sized restaurants. It would have to be like some kind of really fancy restaurant. And if that was the case, then like it would have to be like on a contract basis, right? I have no idea. I didn't read enough of the article to figure out how it works, but I know that they're there and they're out there, just sipping water, running the world from. I don't know. Like I said, I know that on Tumblr there was like that one tap water bottle. Not tap water bottle sommelier. This dude with a really thick kind of German accent who basically went to a CVS. Yeah. He basically went to a CVS and kind of looked through their kind of shelves of water and basically went like, yeah, this one's good. This one's garbage. Don't buy this. Don't buy this. This one's good. This one, it's okay. This one's good. This one's good. This one's awful. This one will actually destroy your bloodline. This one's good. This one's not so good. He kind of like just went through most of the bottles on the shelf like that, which was unique, but also kind of freaky. And apparently he is just a dude who does that. Like that's his thing on TikTok. Like he just like goes to different places and like talks about their bottled water or like different bottled water brands. I never really understood that. I've never had like a preferred water bottle brand. You know, like I've never been at that point in my life. Yeah, I know my mom used to have a preference for like a certain water bottle brand at one point. But besides that, I don't really remember any time that's happened. All right. Now then, I think like around here I also had a couple of these little stripes here. Yeah. I don't know. Is there like for you guys, has there ever been like a special water bottle, like, or not even like permanently? What's like the best water you guys have ever drank? I think the best one I ever drank probably has to be like one time when it was more of like a situational thing than anything else. In the summer of around, God, must have been like 2017, 2016, sometime around that. I actually went wandering around the city that I lived in for a lot of the summertime. That's something that I want to get back into this summertime as well. Just kind of taking a little wander around town, just moseying, just seeing whatever's there. It was easier back in the town that I used to live in because it was actually like a pretty decently big city. So there wasn't really any boring part of it. And even if there was, like the metro system was accessible enough that like you could basically just, if some place sucked, you could just hit the bricks at any moment. I remember one time I walked like 12 kilometers on like a single day. It was so much fun. I used to love it. I probably got like a decent amount of heat stroke from it though, but I still had a lot of fun. Okay, again, something about this doesn't feel right. Maybe if I blend it out, it'll feel better. I mean, it's not. It could be worse, I think. But yeah, it used to be a lot of fun, just kind of like running around town, just seeing what was there. I remember one time I ended up near like this shopping mall that had like a huge display dinosaur out in front. Really cool. I like that place a lot. No, that doesn't make any sense. I think then maybe if like going thin doesn't work, then I need to go and try going thick. It's like kind of going in extremes. If one doesn't work, then try the other. Maybe it'll be closer, maybe it'll be further away, but you're not gonna like lose anything. Especially not if you can just like Control Z everything back to normal. Okay, I keep hitting this button here, this tool here, which doesn't actually have the blend tool in it. But because I kind of associate it with kind of like manipulating stuff after the fact that I've drawn it, I think that's why I keep getting it mixed up. Why is it that color specifically? That's weird. Oh, color stretch, that's probably it. No? Oops. Put those back. Alright, how about fingertip blur? Nope. Maybe I could just use the watercolor brush then. Yeah, the round watercolor brush. Oh yeah. Something that I've been listening to recently. For some reason, my YouTube recommended recently... I don't remember how it happened, but basically... These days I've been getting recommended songs from the musical version of Beetlejuice, and I've been enjoying them quite a bit. Yeah, especially kind of like the kind of opening number, I think is a lot of fun to just kind of like listen to. No, that still feels wrong. Well, I'm already fighting the bad fight. Might as well make it stick. Yeah. I know that, like, I actually looked it up. They haven't managed to make, like, a professional shoot of it yet, which is a little sad. Yeah. Listen, sometimes you take a gamble and it works out. Sometimes it don't. This is one of those times, and if that's the case, you just gotta kind of learn to live with it. Why didn't I do this? This actually looks kind of like what it looks like with the shiny effects. I kind of prefer just doing it like this, though. Maybe if I go like a little less intense. Maybe that'll be the key. Alright, we can salvage this. Hang on. Yeah, because it's very subtle on the original image as well. There is a kind of disconnect, right? Art is like the science, I think, of abstraction. It is using things to make things look like other things. In that way, it's a lot like lying. You know, I could tell it's like that whole Rene Magritte thing, right? This is not a pipe. This is not like what you see in front of you is not a charred black bell pepper. It's pixels on a computer that are being like sent to your screen at light speed from God knows where. That I am also looking at the same time, simultaneously creating this kind of illusion of presence. But this is not a bell pepper. Hang on, I got an idea to do something really stupid and funny. Okay. But that's kind of the thing as well, right? So when you kind of try to abstract things like that, you have to think about what they're going to look like, either simplified, different, you know, it's impossible or nearly impossible, I should think, to kind of capture every detail of a real life thing, because if you do that, you'd basically have to paint molecule by molecule, and even then it's not going to capture everything. And because my style heavily leans on that abstraction, I think whenever I do something like this, it's actually quite challenging for me because, you know, if I draw a funny little guy right here, you know, this is 4 lines total. That's not a guy, that's like 4 lines, but they are arranged in such a way that you see a little guy there. And You know, my style resembles that more than like it would like a hyper-realistic painting. What I'm trying to say is that there's things that I still struggle with, and I'm hoping to get stronger at them, but that's gonna take quite a bit of doing. This is part of that process, though. And I am... You know, I can bear any pain as long as it has meaning. And sometimes if it doesn't. Usually that occurs when I don't know what the meaning of it is. Okay, here we go. Yeah. What else have I been up to recently? Oh yeah. Recently something that I've noticed is, and this is something that I noticed on my on that newsletter as well. Apparently, right, I don't use TikTok, but apparently it is rolling out a new feature that lets you block the view of like, oh, you know how like usually when you come up on a post and it tells you like, oh yeah, it has this many likes, it has this many comments, etc., etc. Apparently they're gonna introduce a view that'll block that information out for you. Not sure why that, like... Obviously, I support 100%. I think like we get bombarded with enough information every day that any kind of like restriction on that is actually quite welcome. But from a marketing standpoint, I don't know how that makes sense. But that actually does remind me that Tumblr has actually recently made a similar change. Usually when you used to see a post, you used to see like on the notes section of it, you used to see the exact number of notes, even if it was over like 10 million or something. I don't think I've actually seen a post with more than 10 million notes. But it used to list out the full number of notes. It used to have like little balls there to show like, yeah, it has reblogs, it has likes, it has comments, etc. But now they've removed those. Now it's just like a plain old number, and it gets shortened with like a K or an M, I imagine, if it's in the millions. Which is very surreal. Like, Tumblr is to me kind of like a maximalist site, so the fact that it does that is weird. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave this pepper alone for now. I think, for my own mental health, I think I'm gonna stop poking the bear. The bear pepper. The bear pepper that is a real thing that exists. Yeah, you see like somebody's really badly handwritten grocery list, and you're like, what does this say? Bear pepper? Well, that can't be right. And you walk into the produce aisle. That took me a while to remember how to say that. You walk into the produce aisle, and there's like an entire actual bear right there. It's got a little apron on, and it's selling like these bear-shaped bell peppers, and you'll be like, huh. And then you like throw 5 of them in your cart. They're a little more expensive than the other ones, but you know, they're organic and shit, so they're worth the price. Okay, so for this meat here, I think I'm gonna do a similar kind of approach to the bell pepper. God, I went to a barbecue not too long ago, and something really silly happened. One of the people there was like this dad who brought his 2 kids, and one of them was very young still. And that kid was holding onto like this bag of marshmallows. They were gonna like cook them over the grill. So the kid is like, okay, yeah, like the kid is just like very protectively holding onto these marshmallows. And eventually they convince the kid to give up, to like let go of the marshmallows. And then this other dude who was also invited, you know, he's also a dad, so I think he thought the kid would like find this funny. He basically said, "Oh, good, now I can eat them all," and like he made like little chomping noises at the marshmallows, and the kid immediately started crying. That poor kid. The kid immediately started just bawling her eyes out. The poor thing. So he kind of like had to come up to me and was like, "Pablo, do you have like any sweets or something? I think I need to like make it up to this kid." I did actually bring some cookies that time around. But God, yeah. Like the thing is, right? Kids are little kids, young kids. are either very receptive to teasing or they are like not at all down with it. Like they take out a lot of things very seriously. I think it is mostly dependent on like what to take seriously. So like if you like say that dinosaurs don't exist or some shit, like like some kid will be like, okay, cool, I'll incorporate that into my worldview. But another one will like be welling up with tears in their eyes, saying like, no, you're dumb and stupid and that kind of thing. I don't know. I feel like that is the kind of dichotomy, right? I was 100% a dinosaur kid as a child. Like, I remember like being really interested in dinosaurs and stuff, but I never like went so far as to be like, yeah, I'm gonna study dinosaurs when I grow up. I don't know. I could be a decent paleontologist. I do wonder, right? Like, what kind, like, for these kinds of fields, where I don't imagine there's like a whole, like, paleontology, right? Study of dinosaurs. If you're not on a dig site constantly, like, it's very weird because, like, I'm trying to think of, like, how you'd find evidence to, like, submit a claim or something, right? Like, as a paleontologist, you're this person who studies dinosaurs. And, you know, that being the case, you need to, you know, it is very much an academia-centric field. So you kind of need to figure out, like, okay, how am I gonna, like, argue, like, that this dinosaur had, I don't know, a prehensile tail or some shit. And you kind of have to figure out an argument for that. I feel like that's much more difficult when you only have so much limited evidence to kind of go off of. Like, can you analyze multiple, like, DNA samples of dinosaurs from like fossils like multiple times and then try to isolate certain things? Is that a thing that can be done? Although I imagine you could also try to look at like birds or something. That might be possible. You know, birds are supposed to be kind of like descendants of dinosaurs, so I don't think that's out of the question. Okay. So this is kind of gonna go like this. Like this. There we go. The thing is as well, right? Because the study's looking really good. Thanks, Jay. Yeah, how are you doing? Okay. Gotta figure out like. I think the fact that I am just using a G pen is kind of holding me back in this regard, though, because I feel like this might go a little bit more smoothly if I try to use watercolors, but I don't. Huh. On the other hand, there is no time like the present, so might as well try to start learning how to use these. It's very strange because, yeah, if you'll take a look here, when I use watercolor, it creates like this kind of weird smudge here that I'm not really a fan of. I think I'm just gonna like remove the texture. I think that's how I had it before. Yeah, okay. And I think the blending mode normal, okay, good. Texture density, watercolor edge, maybe turn that off. Oh yeah, now we're in business. Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not even gonna use the wand tool for this one. We are, you know, we're taking the risk. We're being the risky ones now. This is the G pen. All right, we are the okay. Now we're being the risky ones. Good. Just trying to watch you and Jupiter simultaneously, but I keep getting sucked into their stream because they're making some methane boots. Nice. Yeah, we cooking. Nice. Yeah, we cooking. Yeah, I've been hearing that a shrimp apparently has been really good at making fried rice, so I need to get on their level if I gotta like protect myself. Okay, I got an idea for how to do this, but yeah, no, Jupiter's stream is also really fun. I hopped in there a little bit myself while she was making like the me-themed shoes as well. Really good, honestly. I like Jupiter streams. They're very chill. What was I doing right here? Right, over here too. Okay, then... Okay, I might have gone overboard with this, but again, this is kind of the point of a study, right? Like, in a study, if you're not taking a couple risks, you're not doing it right, I think. Okay, that's also not the color that I'm going for. It's supposed to be more like towards orangish, I think. Almost like this. No, that's like too desaturated, I think. Maybe more like this? Okay, yeah, that's a little closer. Oh yeah, here we go. Yeah, now we can use a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B, I think. Okay. Yeah, again, I feel like whenever I get a little too comfortable with my like creative process, I kind of start to... And this is what kind of prompted me to do this, because I've been feeling like this was happening to me again. Once I get very comfortable with like a process that I'm doing, you know, it's like, okay, I go model, line art, coloring. It's not a bad process at all. Like the problem isn't the process itself. The problem is that like it's kind of very formulaic. Like it doesn't like challenge me to... No, I am 100% challenged whenever I draw though. Like, I don't know how to put it. Like, it's the reason I try to go and push my boundaries like this is not because of like something like, oh yeah, I needed to grow or something like that. It's because I think like after a while I kind of get too tense, or like I fall into like this mindset of, okay, it has to be done like this or else it's just not going to work. And that's just not how it is, right? Like, things work for many reasons, and no, this is like too drab. Hang on. Like, things tend to work. I forgot what kind of point I was trying to make, but basically, like, it's to kind of remind myself to let loose a little bit, because like I said, at the end of the day, your kind of main goal is to depict whatever it is you're trying to draw. It is kind of like that kind of abstraction. So even if you know, there is no like one right way to do that. So I think like these kind of studies really remind me of that. Okay, yeah, I think that was the point I was trying to make. And also I just got an idea for how to do this. Okay, let's do it. Okay, it's very reddish. It's almost like bright red almost in like a couple of places. These little guys remind me of what used to be that picture for that one SCP. You know the one that was like really famous, the statue one. Yeah, the 173, I think it was. I'm not really good at keeping track of like specific SCP names. I remember a lot of like what they do, but like not their specific numbers. But yeah, I remember SCP-173 was it 173, 176? I don't remember. But yeah, this might be a little too red though. I can color pitch it, shift it so it's a little bit better, but for now I'll just kind of focus on the kind of general shapes this thing had. 173, you got him? Nice! Still got it, baby. Hell yeah. Yeah. I used to just read through the SCP wiki. You know how, like, I do see the resemblance? Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah. I remember that when I was younger, you know, I was a really good kid growing up during school. You can tell that a little bit from my dorky personality, I think. But I was like one of those kids that 100% got like he was a pleasure to have in class on their kind of teachers' comments. But the thing is, you know, when like that was the case for most of the time. But I did have my moments of like juvenile delinquency where I would goof off in the middle of the class. Usually just by doodling or something. Most of my teachers learned to like ignore it, but sometimes I would just like go on like the computer and just like, you know, read an article of the SCP wiki or like TV tropes. And most of the time I got away with it scot-free because it looked so much like an actual Wikipedia article or something like that they were like, oh yeah, so he's just reading some kind of online database, whatever, yawn. Go back to teaching or whatever the hell. And honestly, like I used to be like, haha, I'm such a delinquent. I'm reading like this article on Wikipedia during class. Like I do want to just grab baby me by the shoulder and be like, dude, you are still learning. You're reading Wikipedia articles like some kind of freak. Did anybody else used to do that? Like, did y'all just kind of go on Wikipedia, hit the random button, and then just read whatever article came up? Okay. That was definitely me as well, quite a bit. Nice, nice. Okay, good. It's good to know that I wasn't alone on that one. Yeah. Yeah, no. I just found reading through stuff so fascinating, even though I didn't understand like half of it. Like I would be like I would like accidentally go onto like the Wikipedia article for, I don't know, some kind of town in Luxembourg, and it would be like, oh yeah, this hamlet was founded in such and such. Its main economics outputs are this and that, and I'd be like, I see. It was a lot of fun. It really was. Oh yeah, I used to read cracked articles a lot when I was younger as well. Taking it all in. Yeah, no. He is mesmerized by the beauty of the world. Yeah, like that one RDJ meme. That was 100% me as a kid. Okay, I think if I increase the tolerance on this, and then okay, yeah, there we go. Okay, I can't spend forever on this chicken skewer, but I feel pretty good about this time that I am spending on it, so I'm not gonna question the process. But yeah, no, just reading random articles on wikis has always been kind of a pastime of mine. The thing is, right, if I'm going on like a wiki, I'm not going there to, unless like I'm actively looking for like hints on a game or something, I'm not gonna be like there to kind of learn so much as I am to just read and then just absorb it all. Well, no, there is no absorption. I just read. I just read and then I don't think about what I've read ever again. In that regard, the kind of like my kind of like reading process is kind of violent because I'm not actually like taking anything from what I'm reading. I'm just like, yeah, okay, and then I'm just like, I just keep reading, but like nothing's going in. Okay, yeah. Good to know that I'm not alone on that one either. Yeah, reading, but for the love of the sport. Yeah, catch and release reading. Yeah, catch and release type reading frenzy. For the love of the sport. That's a really good way of putting it. That is 100% the kind of experience. Just doing it for the love of the sport. Yeah. Oh yeah, I hear you read a lot. What do you read? And like, it's not even like one of those situations where it's like, oh yeah, I read comics a lot, or like something like that. Like, that does seem always kind of strange to me that like you can say that like for some like, right? I feel like if you like go on like any kind of you know, if you like go to some dude like and go like, hey, do you read a lot? And then if you ask if they read a lot, they also kind of like add to it that, oh yeah, also by the way, comics and graphic novels don't count. Like, that always has seemed a little weird to me because I understand that like reading a book is different from reading a graphic novel. I do 100% believe that you do actually need different skill sets for kind of really digesting a graphic novel versus really digesting a book, because, you know, the graphic novel not only has words like a book does, but it also has images to contend with. It has the kind of symbolism and imagery and like all this extra nuance that you have to look out for, kind of. In that regard, it's a lot different. but like they almost say it in kind of like a disdainful way, like, oh yeah, by the way, this doesn't count. It's like, oh yeah, you can't like do it for like, you can't, it doesn't count unless it's like pure reading, like with a book. And it always seemed a little silly to me. Like, obviously I feel like those people are also seen kind of as assholes, but I kind of get it, because like, even though it does sound like it is disdaining kind of like comics and such, like I did say, you do actually need different skill sets for kind of reading both. So it makes sense that they would kind of want to interface more with a person who kind of like read books than just graphic novels, you know? So, yeah. I think a lot of the time, just like these kind of like, I mean, obviously there are people who just say that to be assholes, but I feel like at the same time, some people kind of use it to figure out like, oh, is this person kind of like me? I think, you know, maybe they're not good with other people. Like I said, though, there are definitely people who do it to be assholes, so watch out. You know, protect yourself. Yeah, no, I don't think this is like anything. I've worked very hard on this little bite of chicken. I'm 90% sure this is chicken, but I'm not sure how where this is going. It's a little yellow. Maybe that's what's bothering me. I think like if I could mix like this color palette. Hang on, I've got an idea for how to do this. If I could just kind of like move this over here. I'm getting the chicken from it. Okay, that's good. That's good. I think like something that I could do maybe to kind of figure this out. I feel like I'm going to learn something from this. God, this is just kind of like a... I don't know. This for some reason is very funny to me. Just the... God, I kind of miss deep fried memes, if that makes sense. I feel like they stuck around for like maybe a year or two, and then they kind of went off on their merry way into the eternal void of the human psyche, gracefully bowing out. I don't think there was like anything in particular that like ruined deep fried memes. Oh yeah, this is it. Okay, this is what I was looking for. Okay, so what I was actually looking for was kind of a, and I can actually probably twist this around even more by messing around with the color values a little bit. Need more saturation? No, not so much saturation, but definitely a little. Light value might also have something to do with it. Yeah, the idea is to figure out like a good kind of in-between point of the two. That's kind of natural. So instead of like maybe this kind of like, that is the exact same color. What layer style is this? Dark and okay, that makes sense. Okay. Huh. Oh wait, this is still on the darkened layer. Hang on. Maybe if I do it like this. Okay, it is slightly a different color. Okay, that's good to know. I just gotta get this out of here now. I forgot that that's what that... And that was the wrong layer. Whoops. I should drink some water. And something else that I learned about recently is that apparently allergy tests are becoming more and more popular. And this is the one of the few trends that to me makes perfect sense, because first of all, we are getting like these people who are finally getting back from COVID, right? Oh, actually, that's not a bad idea to make it like this kind of sinewy texture. Yeah, this could work. Okay. Yeah. I've read, right? I've heard it being said that apparently we are getting more people with allergies these days because and again, I'm not sure if I can back this up with science, but apparently, like, the reason we're getting more people with allergies these days is because kids just are not getting as muck filthy as they used to. Right? Like, you know, back in the days when, like, the best thing, the most entertaining thing to do in town was just to throw rocks at your friends. You know, you just kind of go down to the riverbank and throw rocks at each other. You would kind of naturally end up getting exposed to a lot of, like, allergens and viruses and all that at a very young age. And because of that, you would also end up building a tolerance to them from a young age. Conversely, if you don't get exposed to those kind of, like, germs and such since you're young, you're just not going to have a very strong immune system. You know, this isn't to say that you should immediately throw the nearest child you see into a riverbank, but I'm saying that like, the kind of limitation of children to play in those kind of, like, more, you know, safely filthy spaces, to put it into a very weird way, has actually, like, hurt their, like, development a little bit. It might be, like, I don't know. I feel like there are some gaps in that kind of, how do I put that? Like, I feel like a lot of kids now don't get up to the good wholesome pastimes I did, getting up to my elbows in river mud. Back to the good old days when kids licked rails. Yeah, exactly. Not enough kids out here licking doorknobs these days. Why, when I was your age, my brother and I used to lick doorknobs all doggone day long. Sometimes we even licked them after the dogs had gotten at them. Yeah, like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to, like, just like friggin' roll around in the dirt. I would just, like, roll down entire hills. You don't see that so much these days. Well, to be fair, you know, it's not like I'm out here, like, you know, it's not like I'm out here like some kind of behavioral scientist, like, taking a sense of the number of kids that roll down hills. I'm sure there must still be some, but, like, I do feel like you see that less and less these days. And that is sad. That is a little bit sad. You know, I feel like it is, again, this kind of, like, decline in the existence of walkable societies, right? Like, nowadays you're expected to, like, take a car everywhere. You have very few places where kids can, like, safely, you know, have a good roll around in the muck. I saw a video about this, and the reason why there's less kids playing outside is because we literally made them impossible to be outside. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like, you know, I lived in a foreign country for a little while, and those places had all kinds of huge, enormous parks for children to play in. Like there were, like, straight up playgrounds everywhere. There were, like, there wasn't just, like, it had, like, places where you could be without like having to, like, take a car over there anywhere. Also, I think I'm really getting the hang of this chicken now. I feel like this is the right way to go. But yeah, like, that's something that I noticed, that, like, especially in, like, Western countries, there is just no good place for children to be children, other than, like, these playgrounds. But even then, like, with COVID and everything, those are becoming more and more scarce. And not even with just COVID, it's just been an overall downward trend in spaces for children like that. Went to visit my dad on the little island I grew up on, and I seriously couldn't get over how open and natural it was there compared to the mainland. Yeah, no. I think that must be especially jarring, especially, like... No, I do feel like that has to be quite jarring. Not even houses if you're renting, because landlords get really angry about kids making any kind of noise. Yeah, no. It is all just kind of like... There's just, like, so many different things kind of being added together that just make the whole situation real bad. Yeah, it's suppressing the right that children have to just become an app, to, like, just track mud into the house. God. Yeah, we really are at that point, huh? What a world. Yeah, that reminds me of another kind of weird, kind of what do you call, indicator that people have noticed. Literally so important for kids to get to be creature. Yeah, exactly. I miss the days where I used to walk on all fours up the stairs. Dude, that used to be the best. I didn't really get to do that much as a kid because I didn't live in houses with stairs. I did do that sometime. Like, I got to do that a little bit as a teenager because that house did have stairs, and like sometimes when I was home alone, I'd go goblin mode and just like do and get up to like weird shit on my own. It's one of the few privileges that you have in those days of your dying youth. I think like people still low key fulfill that need by just going to CrossFit and doing bear crawls. I went ham when I visited my aunt's house. Aunt's house. Yeah, I don't know why I said that like aunt. Yeah, when you went to your aunt's house, you went ham with that. That's perfect. Perfect. Yeah, those stairs will be crawled. Yeah. You invite a child to your home, and like when you lead them to the stairs, there's a twinkle in their eye and a twitch in their palm, and you just know that if the moment you turn away from them, they are gonna be crawling up them suckers like some kind of creature. I say this in like a loving sense, right? Like that's perfect. That's exactly what kids should be doing. God, yeah. You know, the thing is, being home alone when you live alone, that's like nothing, right? Like you can still feel yourself a little bit, but there's like this special brand of like absolute kind of shenanigan energy that creeps into your body when like you live with other people and you know for a fact that they're not going to be coming back for a little while. You like you want to put on music, you want to like start dancing in the hallways. It's so much fun. It is really the supply and demand, right? Like when you're like normally with other people, that dancing, that yeah, truly, yeah. When you live alone, that kind of dancing stuff, it doesn't have quite as much punch to it because you could do it whenever you want. But like if you were with other people, suddenly that dancing time, that period to really feel yourself, that becomes a commodity. That becomes a scarcity. That's like a scarcity issue now. Now you like want to take advantage of it. Okay. I think I really am getting the feel for this. I think that little color thing really helped me out. That got deep fried again, but whatever. But yeah, I'm really jealous of people who can make like really good looking food. I mean, I can like make decent looking food. I think I am kind of like limiting my power level, so to speak, by not like drawing lines on this. But again, the whole point of this is that I am kind of stepping out of my comfort zone. Oh, that reminds me. I think I've only just recently gotten the hang of eating things with my hands. Like, I'm very bad at like eating stuff with my hands because I just don't like the feel of like I don't like how it feels when I hold food in my hands that's not like 100% dry, like right? Like if I can hold a sandwich just fine. Like sandwich no problem. It's pizza no problem, but if it's like a chicken wing or something that's like really greasy, it's just not good. It does not vibe with me. Yeah, and it's only recently that I've really gotten the hang of eating like chicken wings. Don't you point that sun smug at me, young man. But yeah, no. Like I said, I recently went to a barbecue, and because it was like 90% like suburban couples at that barbecue, none of them wanted to like take over the leftover cooked meat. Like they brought way too much meat. So and they were basically like, okay, I don't want to dump this. Hey, that guy's like living alone, right? Do you want to take this with you? And I was like immediately 100% yes. God, that really is just like that is something that I need to get better at. Like I need to like I don't so much like making plans to go out to like big social events for some reason. I think I have a fine time there. I do, but like I think it's like, you know, the lingering introvert in me is still like is still kind of rebelling against that kind of thing. And what ends up happening when that happens is like I need to be like almost coerced into like doing something that I will have fun doing anyway. Anyway, like I have a good time at social events, but I think like the way that like I can really motivate myself to go to more of them is by reminding myself, hey, there might be like free food there. You should slide. Yeah. Yeah, especially if it's something like this or like a potluck or something. I need to get like I need to be on that like leftover grind. All right, I gotta focus. I'm shifting into leftovers mode. You know what Strat? You know what Strat? Because I was thinking about the same thing recently. Yeah, no. Listen, you got the thing. The trick is you gotta like invite yourself over. Not even invite yourself over. Like you need to get tight with like a bunch of people who like live in the suburbs or something, and they'll invite you to cookouts. They might offer to pick you up as well. Like and if you have a good time there and you make other people have a good time, it's all everybody benefits. Tricking myself into socializing with the thought of food. Yeah, I've said this before. I am 100% food motivated, like some kind of beast. I am food motivated. I am a food motivated individual. So it is a fairly effective strategy for me. I mean, there's no shame in it, honestly. Like I'm getting out more. They have a good time by my presence there. You know, everybody benefits. Okay, and then just clean this up a little bit like this. There we go. Alright, I think I finally got in the hang of this chicken. Oh, that was crunchy wrist. God. Popping... I should check my posture as well, oh my goodness. Ironically enough, I was going a little ham on the chicken. Got it. I think like a reason that I think the reason that I like making puns so much is because I love to pick fights, but I don't want to actually hurt anyone. So when I make puns, it's like I'm casually picking a fight with everybody in the room, but they acknowledge that if they actually get mad about it, they're the ones who lost. I'm like that like painting of a jester who's like taunting dogs over a balcony. Come on, react to it with a groan. I know you want to. Skyrim mayhem spell. It really is like that. Yeah. Yeah, I drop a pun into a group chat and I casually see like yeah, it's dropping whenever I drop a pun to a group chat, I see like I have to go into my little Skyrim menu screen that I always have open, that I always see in real life all the time, constantly, and I have to go to my Dragon Shout select screen, and it's just like Barbarian Frenzy in there, and then I immediately hit select, and then I say like, "Hey, what's up with this ceiling?" or something like that. What's up with this ceiling is just a classic one, honestly. Okay, then I think there's a little bit of scorching of this redness like around here. Okay, yeah, I think this one's pretty much done. I might actually add a little bit extra back here. These are some weirdly crunchy pieces of chicken. I don't know how else to call this. Like, this is a very scratchy kind of art style, and it's much different compared to the bell pepper. But I feel like it's almost more appropriate. Not to sound like a stoner. I see it as hair. Moving on. Yeah, not to sound like a stoner, but like I did have a moment where I was like really looking at my hands the other day, and I got kind of uncomfortable once I realized that like I could see like the individual kind of like, I don't know if I just have really dry hands or something, but like I could like yeah, didn't like that. Yeah, no, I was like looking at my hands the other day. You know how like if you look at your thumb close enough, you can see the thumbprints. It's kind of like you can also see like your palm print. I told you to put on some lotion. I did on the back of my hands, not on the palms of my hands. I don't know why the palms of your hands would need lotion. Those suckers just build up calluses. It's different. It's a different texture. If that's the case, though, then maybe it wouldn't hurt to like kind of group them all more together like this. Leof does have a point that it looks a little bit like hair. I'm so fucking scared right now. Why do you fear what you don't understand? Come, join me. Join the brethren of the Sandpaper Hand clan. Dude, trust me, it's so great. You don't even need to like get sandpaper or anything when you're putting together gunplay. It's fantastic. Many benefits, zero downsides. I would rather die. Many downsides, zero benefits. What more could you ask for? God, that does remind me that like I actually do have a character. Dry hands, gang. Yeah. Listen, I did not have eczema. Actually, I think I still technically have eczema or some shit on the back of my hands to get told by somebody that my hands are dry. All right, I know my hands are dry. They've been dry for the past 22 years. Whew. Anyway, I actually do have a character whose whose kind of power. I don't think she has it anymore. I think I kind of steered away from that part of her. But her power was that basically she, like, hang on, I actually will draw a sketch of her because she's really fun to draw. Yeah, it's this really short lady called Reina, and she has like those Buddha type ears. She basically looks like this all the time. And her power used to be that like she could like make the surface of her hands like really rough, like the inside of a rock tumbler. And, you know, she'd just grab dudes and that would kind of be the end for them. I like her. She's a lot of fun to draw. Oh, I don't like that though. Hang on. There we go. Pabzangi. Yeah, no, she was like, yeah, her whole family is just kind of like that, like except for their mother and grandmother. Her sister was also like that as well. If you've ever caught any of those streams where I'm drawing a comic, that girl Celeste is also part of her family, and she's also got the same look. Kind of like that. I just love... I really like characters whose neutral like, for some reason, it's a lot of fun for me to draw characters whose neutral expression is literally just looks like they will kill you. It's fun. Like, reverse customer service smile. Like, this is a person who will, I don't know, throw you out of a window if you so much as look at them funny. I was doing something. Right, this other chicken leg. Oh, right. I was filling it in with a new color. Okay, so I think the way this is going to go is as follows. So this part here is going to have this color here. This part here is going to be downgraded to this color. The rest of this is going to be filled in with this kind of like new yellowish color. And we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah. I don't know. Leof called it hair, but I like to the way that I did these is more like I was imagining the individual kind of muscle sinews. You know, like that's kind of what I was getting at my hand thing as well. Like, it's a little disturbing when you look at your skin closely enough to like see the kind of individual parts, or like you could see like like. I'm not saying that I can see my individual cells because I don't think that's possible. But you can see like the little like creases in your skin where you can like kind of see like, oh, this is kind of like where different chunks of cells kind of break apart. That's interesting. Or horrifying. I don't, depending on like your attitude towards your body. I mean, I don't know. There's people who like their body but don't like thinking about it. I understand that that's a thing that happens sometimes, and 100% I understand that. You? Yeah, me. Welcome to the stream, homeboy. You, I don't know what kind of reaction. I don't know how I'm supposed to take that reaction, dude. Is that legitimate concern, or are you like, or are you just preparing kind of like a tactical roast on me? The question, I think I've made you genuinely concerned. Okay, this one here actually has quite a bit of this thing going on over back here. But yeah, like, it's a little bit like meditation, right? Like, when you meditate, the kind of whole point of meditation isn't to, you know, kind of dwell on the profound mysteries of the universe, although I'm sure you can use it for that as well. But the kind of point of meditation is to have a moment of present-mindedness. It is to kind of take a break from everything and just be like, okay, need a status report on my body, more or less. And more often than not, like I remember that one time I heard that like you should try out meditation by trying to feel out your heartbeat. That's one that I remember hearing about. Like, you know, once you start, like, you know, you start by breathing deeply and just feeling it kind of like, you know, feel how it expands your stomach, your like chest, and then just breathing out and keeping track of that feeling. But like, further than that, you can also kind of try to listen to your own heartbeat. Just kind of focus on that and just kind of get a lowdown on how your body's doing. And I actually did try meditating regularly for a little bit. I can't say that it had any kind of major noticeable effects, although I did feel like I was better at focusing for the day once I did that. Maybe I should try doing it more often again. It might be a good thing for me. Okay, now then. Okay, so I think, like, hang on. Okay, I think I know how I'm gonna play this. I made this part way too low as well. It should be a little bit higher, like over here. I was thinking about something. Whatever. Oh yeah, this is actually a funnier one that I picked up from These Business News. Have you got, like, you know that in Las Vegas, right? In Las Vegas, for some reason, it's a very popular kind of thing to do, to get married in a chapel by an Elvis impersonator. You know how that's like an actual thing of the tourist industry there? Yeah, if you guys have never heard of that before, in the U.S., there is, in a city mostly known for its gambling halls, you can get married in one night. Like, you like, it's as easy as filling out a couple forms, and you can choose to get flash married by a Elvis impersonator in one of the gaudiest looking in one of the gaudiest looking like chapels that you've ever seen. And it's a thing that people do for fun, and that's like a regular part of its tourist industry as well. That is a real thing that happens. It's actually been quite a healthy industry up until now. I think they even did the like digital ones, I think, for a while. I mean, they would have to, right? But it is like a booming industry. Until recently. Because for some reason, the music group that had the rights to like Elvis's music and such has actually kind of started cracking down on them. They're sending like cease and desist letters to these chapels because like they don't want people going around impersonating Elvis like that anymore. And like I'm just looking at this situation going like, who do I root for here? Right? Because like, listen, I am 100% for like enabling people to get married, right? But at the same time, it almost feels weird to have it done. Yeah. Yeah, it is lame. I will agree that it is lame, but at the same time, I'm like, I do feel conflicted because I've always thought that the Elvis marriages were always kind of like weird to me, but at the same time, like, it is just a bunch of clowns kind of ruining the party, so at the same time, I'm also against that. It is just very, very weird. I don't know. Militant protection of intellectual property has always been kind of like annoying, right? Like, you get these fan projects that made like media that hasn't been accessible for 30 years possible, and then the next day it's like, oh yeah, we took this down overnight. I'm all for illegal style marriage Elvis marriages now. Elvish marriages. God, that must be an elvish marriage, right? Elves must have some of the wildest fucking weddings ever. I mean, the food, like, for one thing, the food probably isn't great. I have like 5 punchlines to make out of illegal Elvis marriages. Alright, I'm gonna need to like keep a list or some shit, because like these are actually kind of good. But yeah, like, elvish marriages. You don't want to get invited to an elvish marriage, right? Illegal elf marriages. God. Yeah, but yeah, no, you don't want to get invited to like an elf wedding, because first of all, the fam, like, you know how like you have like how like sometimes when you're inviting people to your wedding, and like a classic thing is like, some people would be like, oh yeah, I needed to invite like my whole family to my very dear friend Pabs. Yeah? My very dear friend Leo, who would never hurt me or harm me in any way. Yeah? What's up? Sun smug. But yeah, no. Oh. So this is what the kind of day it's gonna be, huh? Alright, let me set the timer. I should actually increase it to 2 minutes. I think I've been working out on my legs a little bit. Let's see if I can go for 2 minutes. I might die, but at least I will die a warrior's death. Quite literally, I'm pretty sure like dying in stance is one of the prerequisites to getting into Valhalla. All right, let me give myself plenty of space here. 2 minutes on the clock, starting now. Okay, is that low enough for face tracking to work? Yes, it is. Fantastic. Okay. But yeah, elvish marriages must fucking suck, because like whenever you hear about somebody getting married, right, like one of the things that they tend to complain about is like, oh yeah, I had to like invite my whole family, but you know, I have this really racist uncle who's like really weird and makes things weird, and I just didn't know where to seat him. Like, I imagine that has to be like at least half of the elves invited. Right, like you have like an uncle, like you have like that, like, I don't know, some racist elvish uncle who's like, oh, halflings, I didn't know you guys knew how to articulate, and like it just ruins the whole vibe. Anyway, the second punchline I had for that, it'll come to me, hang on. Second punchline was, right, young adult style novel, like Insurgent, but like instead of anything meaningful, it's just like people who are fighting for the cause of being able to get married by Elvis Presley. That one's free, printing industry. You can have that one on the house. 46 seconds left. Oh my god. Alright, keep it low. Okay. Okay. You're okay. Your struggling makes me smile. I don't know how to feel about that. Not gonna lie, that's a little weird, champ. Okay. 19 seconds on the clock. I can do it. The thing is, right, the horse stance is actually kind of difficult to... The horse stance is kind of weird because, like, it's not like, you know, a bicep curl or something in that if you get tired, you just, like, drop it. It's not like if you're, like, carrying something. Oh, timer's done. Okay, good. Okay. Whew. Okay. I just fell into my chair. I'm okay. As I was saying, the thing with horse stance is that it's not like a lot of exercises in that if you get tired of doing it, you can't just kind of like drop the weight or drop whatever you're holding. You kind of are the weight. So do you just like collapse? Do you just like bring yourself back up? If your legs are too tired, you're just gonna kind of fall over to the side, I think. Oh my god. How are we for time, by the way? Okay, still got about an hour. Sure, okay. I'm okay. You just snap in half. Yeah, you see like... Yeah, you get invited to go to the Shaolin temple to see the monks train, and like you see one of the new recruits just literally fucking break in half like a Kit Kat bar. and you're like, what happened to him? Oh, he did the horse stance for too long. Yeah, you don't want to be like that. Know your limits, grasshopper. God. Yeah, no, I would just snap in half though. I feel like my rice sona would be very... I feel like... How do I put this without sounding like a psychopath? I feel like if you harmed my rice sona, I wouldn't actually like break or anything. I'd like separate like silly putty. So the idea of some dude kind of like just... like, I don't know. This might be just me being like low on oxygen. So the dude is just kind of like... So you're just kind of like Mr. Potato? No, more like Gumby, I think. It's like you just see this dude like stance like this, like, oh yeah, like these are his knees or anything. He doesn't have like stupid thick hips, right? So and those are like his knees. I mean, I guess if that's the case, then they would look more like this. Yeah, kind of like this. And he's like, oh man, I'm gonna get so strong, and then he just kind of like... kind of like that. You just hear like a crack. Like that's the image that came to my head. Okay, gotta catch my breath a little. My goodness. I'm glad I made that redeem. Also, it is, as I thought, it is funnier if I do it for 2 minutes. Then it's kind of like a meaningful challenge. I mean, who knows? If I get enough people who do it on a regular basis, I might bump it up to like 3 minutes eventually. Who knows? Yeah, martial training through Twitch streaming. That's gonna be like the title of the self-help book that I publish in like 20 years. Like you'll see me on the cover. I'll have a big smile on my face and like the thickest thighs you've ever seen, and they'll be like, "So what's your secret to this training?" And I'll be like, "Yeah, start streaming on Twitch for like 6 months, like 3/4 of a year, and then like once you get affiliate, add a redeem to make yourself streaming a horse stance for like a minute or two a day." I say for it, and it's just like me looking evilly at the drops. God. Yeah. It's just like you're like seeing like these little like you're getting like these grains of rice and you're like You're like this. Please send that to me. I will. Hang on. Well, yeah, let me screen cap it real quick for you. Alright, where's Discord? I don't think I have it open right now. Okay, there you are. Alright, it's sent. I might as well copy and paste this later just in case to preserve it. Yeah. God, I was having a conversation with Toast the other night. Like, this topic popped up on Toast's stream. Oops. That how do you personally go around finding like the layer that you're looking for? And I just like unless it's a live 2D model that I'm drawing, right? I am 100% just clicking the layers open and shut until I find the right one that I'm looking for, like some kind of demented cartoon character looking through like a huge stack of like shift control easy. Shift control? Shift control. Oh, I see. Interesting. But yeah, no, I'm not about that life, G. I'm, that is, we are but simple pirates and do not understand such complicated things. Okay. Yeah, and press on the dot. Right. I will have to keep that trick in mind, though. It does annoy me whenever I find the dot, and I know for facts that I will spend at least a good 50 minutes of the stream just finding wherever the hell it came from. Okay, yeah, this'll work. Okay, I think there's also literally a tool in Club used for finding layers. Oh, I'm aware. I just don't use it. Like I said, I'm not about that life. It's a matter of principle at this point. Caveman things. Listen. A big wooden club has worked for cavemen for millennia. It'll work for me. Alright? Last time I checked, most things in the world weren't immune to wooden clubs. I ain't listening. God. That is true that like you can just be like, I'm not listening to somebody when they're like when they're chatting at you, and just close your eyes. Yeah, I remember reading a Portal post that was like, imagine if GLaDOS learned. God, Portal is such a good game. I close my ears. Yeah, just like that dude from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. God, I don't know how he did that without like moving it around, because like I actually can't plug in my ears like that, but like it takes some finagling with my fingers to do so. It's probably not great for the cartilage, but you know, who cares? As long as the snail inside my ear is protected, then there's no problem as far as I'm concerned. Fully operational, Pablo. Okay. Okay. Okay, then from here, what exactly is the game plan? No, that doesn't work because this color is darker than the yellow. Here we go. Actually, I could use this color a little bit as well. Oh, that's nice. This kind of looks like somebody with their hair parted in the middle. I don't know why I notice these little things. Like I said, because I think maybe it might be because my art style is so centered around, like, you know, that kind of simplification of shapes, that kind of like it leans more towards like towards like iconization. It's not a real word, but like, because I tend to simplify things a lot, I think like I have now gained the ability to like see shapes and other shapes a bit more easily, or a detriment. I'm not sure. Only time will tell. You know, like, something's a benefit to you only until it isn't. You know, like, being prideful means that like you won't get easily stepped on, but it also means that like if somebody's trying to help you, you won't really listen to them either. Yeah, it's all about. Sometimes you gotta listen to people, I think. I think like when people regularly say like, "Oh yeah, you're being kind of an asshole," that's kind of when it's time to reassess the utility of a skill. No, hang on. This could use some work. Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. A trick that some people have been trying out recently is to use that, I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. There's this program, this application. No, I think it does qualify as a program because you can install it on a computer. This program called Slack, which is a tool that is mainly used to centralize communications in an office environment. Now, what that means is basically, you know, you don't have to use emails. You can just kind of instant message each other on this app, and it's a little bit more safe than just using, like, I don't know, WhatsApp or whatever, because, like, it has less chances of stuff getting leaked. Apparently, a lot more people have been using that application to network than some other kind of more traditional means as well. So, like, instead of using Indeed, like, they just download Slack and try to hit somebody up on there and see if, like, hey, is your place hiring? It's probably more useful if you're looking for, like, office jobs. I know my office, at least, actually does have a bonus that they give out if you, like, find somebody to recruit into the team. Like, I think, like, they give you, like... Calling it a bounty seems inappropriate, but that is what it is. Like, they give you, like, a bounty for finding somebody to work on the team. And I'm guessing that you would have to find an office that's looking to expand for that, but still. You know, it's something to think about. You know, if they do have one of those incentives, then it is kind of basically a win-win for both of you. Okay. Yeah, I think this is the way to go. Okay, and then just like this for a couple of these like little burnished marks. Yeah, I think I'm also missing a little bit of this right here. This tone right here. Which acted like as a nice kind of little in-between this yellow and the red. Yeah, I think that's maybe something that I could work on a little more as well. Like, I need to be more comfortable in mixing up my tones, not just using like one specific color for shadow and one specific color for light. Having like this variety, especially in more detailed pieces, will help a lot. Yeah. The thing is, right, the purpose of these studies is to not permanently change your workflow. Chances are my workflow will still look like largely the same as it ever did. Same as it ever was. Same as it ever was. This is not my beautiful art stream. This is not my beautiful house. Whatever. But the goal of this isn't to like fundamentally change how you operate. It's to give you solutions for when something doesn't work. So, in the future, when I'm like getting frustrated with coloring or something, I could try that little trick that I tried out before here, where I had added the same layer but on a different blending mode to kind of find a different color that works without like drastically changing anything. Or, for example, if I'm trying to depict meat, like I'll know to use more tones like this. Or if something looks too flat, like again, use more tones. It's not something that you pull out every day, but it is more kind of things in your toolkit, and that's always a useful thing to have. Not to mention, it can't be just kind of fun. Like this is actually kind of soothing for me. After I got past some of like the initial trepidation, it is just kind of soothing for me to just, go a little hog wild on this a little. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, I will say though that it is getting a little hard to kind of keep track of where I am on this meat skewer. Although I am getting close to the end, so I should basically be able to wrap it up. I think I'll finish this meat skewer, maybe do like one other thing, like maybe one of these potatoes, and then call it a day. Yeah, I think that's a good. I think that would be a good way to kind of finish it off. And again, I can't just go around putting this color willy-nilly. I need to give it like some meaning. So for example, maybe I'll put it like closer to where the light would be. Okay, now for this part right here. Okay, kind of like that. And then here we go. What was I doing? Right, this. God, I feel like sometimes when I'm really focused, if I try to... sometimes I get so focused that I stop focusing. And then when I actually become conscious of what I'm doing again, I get like a little 404 error and I have to refresh the web page in my brain. and like it takes me a second, but then I remember, oh right, I was doing this and that. Oh my goodness. There we go. But yeah, I think I understand why Studio Ghibli movies are like that now. If I also had to just basically draw food like this all day, I think I would also feel very peaceful. Yeah, I mean, you always hear about like Studio Ghibli food looking better than the real life thing. that. Oh, this has got like a weird shade to it though, like around here. It has like this kind of like weird off shade. And then this will kind of like branch out like this. Perfect. Then from there, over here as well, we need this. Yeah, just kind of cover that up with this kind of whole generic thing. This looks a little bit like a monkey as well. You know, you got a little monkey head on there. Okay, then from there, and yeah, it's like that Clark's hard law thing. Any sufficiently advanced piece of technology will be indistinguishable from magic. Any sufficiently toasted chicken skewer will look like a monkey head. Yeah, I always thought that quote was kind of interesting because, like, somebody pointed out the other day that computers do basically run by throwing electricity through a bunch of weird crystals, and that is kind of magical in a sense. Like, that sounds like some kind of fantasy nonsense, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, I remember trying to read one of the first Discworld novel a while back. The first Discworld novel being The Color of Magic. Now, excuse me. Like many creators, Terry Pratchett has gone back on this work saying that, like, okay, yeah, don't read this novel. I was still starting out. Don't read this novel, please. Which I immediately took as a challenge. And I have to say that even though it is, like, it does have, like, some weird parts to it, like, I do think that it's still very much an enjoyable read. I haven't finished it yet. I haven't managed to get to the end of it. I just got to around the place where they finished burning down. Well, yeah, that's where something finished burning down. Yeah, I'm not sure if that counts as a spoiler. Yeah, spoiler alert for this. What is it now? 30-year-old book? It must be more than 30 years. It must be almost like 40 years. How old is the Discworld series? Must be quite old. Hang on. I gotta look this up. 1983. So we are actually coming up on the 40th anniversary of it. My word. But yeah. And like one of the basic joke of the novel is that there is like this tourist dude who from like the kind of thing of the novel is that there's this tourist dude visiting a fantasy era, like medieval era world from a much more technologically advanced and rich place, and he's treating the whole thing as kind of like a tourist adventure, when in reality he is very much in danger of getting robbed, because what he considers to be kind of chump change in his world is tremendously valuable. Like, he considers like one piece of gold to like not be that much money, but in like the normal in the world that he's visiting, one piece of gold is absurdly valuable. And, you know, one of the things of technology that he brings with them is actually a camera. And because the main character is this dude called Rincewind, who has no idea what the fuck he's doing. He basically takes pity on this guy and is like, listen, man, you need to get out of here. If you keep flashing gold like that, you are going to die. And the guy's like, you're so funny, and does not listen to him at all, does not believe he is in danger. And like Rincewind sees this camera and is like, and when he tries to explain it to somebody, he's like, okay, like he doesn't know the technology behind it himself, and it's like, okay, listen, a little demon is in there, and it paints the picture very quickly. Listen to this man, and he'll give you gold if you let him take your picture. And like everybody agreed. And later on, it is revealed that the way the camera operates is in fact that a little demon is in there, painting pictures at an absurdly fast speed. And then Rincewind's like, "Aw, I'm a little disappointed." And the demon's like, "Why? Why's that?" Well, I don't know. I figured like maybe there was like some way to channel thunder, or like maybe it'd use like electricity or something to power it. And the little demon's like, "Are you an idiot? Like electricity is a thing called down on by titans." And he's like, "Yeah, but I mean, like, it'd be weird, right? Like, wouldn't it be interesting?" And like that was a very interesting moment for me in that book. I really ought to finish it one of these days. I might have time soon. Hopefully. Yeah, okay. We gotta finish strong with something that I have started doing. I've noticed my work computer tends to have a slightly low life battery. Like it has a low battery, or it doesn't have a very high capacity battery, or maybe a bunch of the programs running in the background just take up way more battery than they should. Whatever. Not my circus, not my monkeys. But because of that, I've started to try, like, when I'm on my desktop computer at home, I'll be like, oh shit, do I have enough power? And then I'll, like, quickly glance to the bottom of the screen. I'm like, this is a plugged-in computer, my man. Like, if it doesn't have enough power, then something has seriously gone wrong. Good grief. And then over here as well. Perfect. Okay, and then from there, this is going to kind of just peter on out like this. Yeah, I do wonder when that like barbarian fiction. I feel like that is kind of what I want to call it, because like it is fiction loosely based on the universe of Conan the Barbarian. Like not 1-to-1 obviously, because that's copyright infringement and you can't do that. But like I feel like it is very much inspired by like the pulp novels and like the pulp comics of Conan the Barbarian. That reminds me that, like, apparently, like, people noticed that there was this one kind of, sword and sorcery stories, I think is what they're called. And somebody noticed that there was, like, this one sword and sorcery artist who was very popular for a time, but like, first they showed, like, one of the pictures he drew, and they were like, oh, yeah, it's a scantily clad woman in, like, a bikini armor or whatever. But then then they showed more examples of this work, and it's not just a woman; it's also the guys who are in like metal bikinis. And soon enough, you get the sense that it's not exactly like that he wants. It's not so much that he likes metal bikinis, so much as he just hates pants. It's really funny. I admire that kind of mindset. I admire like he found his one thing; he's sticking to it. That's admirable. It's a different thing to what I do, which is just try to do everything forever. Measure never, cut forever, as it were. But I respect it as well. Like it's like those Twitter artists who always like draw one character, or like people who like only think about like one thing at a time. Like I find that kind of level of dedication to be very admirable. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm just missing passion, because I don't think I could just draw one thing forever and ever. Yeah, those people are very passionate about what they do, and I think that's what I admire about them most of all. I mean, obviously I'm passionate about art. I mean, I do it at least 3 times a week. But it's like a different level, you know? It's like they're passionate about this one specific thing. Like, I feel like even if they didn't do art, they would still create stuff about that one specific thing. And I think that's incredible. Yeah. You know, I imagine that as a creator, knowing that, like, your works inspired people to, you know, make stuff, I think that's, like, one of the highest things that, like, that's one of the highest praises you could ask for. Like, knowing that, hey, this person went out there and made something from the things that you made. Like, this person tried to make something because they wanted to be more like you. They wanted to do the things that you did. I think that's got to be an incredible feeling. Oops. Something about this color is like freaking me out now. Okay, kind of like this. No, the way I had it before was better. I don't think this is how I had it before, but whatever. No, hang on. We can do that. We can do better than that. Here we go. Okay, then maybe with this color it'll be better. Oh no, that is the same color. Oh, I mean, it's a little less bright red, I think. I think that might help a little. Yeah, because this kind of like blood, like sunset orange red was just like not... It was not conducive to what I was trying to accomplish. Alright, I think that's a chicken skewer more or less done. Yeah, I think... Do I have enough gas in the tank for one more? I don't think I do, honestly. I think this is a good place to, like, end it for today. I'm honestly a little gassed from this. Let's go and find somebody to raid, huh? Alright, Twitch... Who the heck is streaming right now? Alright, we got... Oh, Harvey's playing something. V's doing something as well. Okay, what else we got? Little Witch in the Woods. Let's go raid Harvey. Let's see what he's up to. Or actually, no. Let's see what V is doing. I think she's coming up on the last thing of 9 hours, 9 person, 9 doors. So that should be interesting. Alright, okay, raid, Virtual Hero V Ranger. So, yeah, spoiler warnings for 9 hours, 9 persons, 9 doors. In the meantime, I should be putting out a new schedule for the next week soon enough. Enjoy the rest of your weekends, everybody, and have a good one. See you all later. Bye.